Good morning. Bonjour. Gui. I'm Ian Sutherland, President and Vice Chancellor of Mount Allison University. I would like to begin by acknowledging that we are on the traditional territory of Mi'kma'ki, the unceded ancestral homelands of the Mi'kmaq. Our relationship and our privilege to be on this territory was agreed upon in the Peace and Friendship Treaties of 1725 to 1752. Because of this treaty relationship, it is to be acknowledged that we are all treaty people and share in the responsibility to honor and respect this territory. Welcome, bienvenue, Upjalasi, to Mount Allison Remembers, where in tribute we annually read the names of members of the Mount Allison community who have given their lives to ensure our freedom. We honor their service, we honor their lives, we honor all who have served. Nous honorons tous ceux qui ont servi.
En honneur de nos anciens et anciennes qui ont servi, et à la mémoire de ceux qui sont tombés, let us now hear the names of those who died in war. Let us remember. The Boer War. Lieutenant Harold Lothrop Borden, who, while leading his troops to victory, fell at Whiteporth, South Africa, on July 16th, 1900. In proud memory of the students of this university and the Mount Allison Academy who gave their lives in the First World War. George Lyman Anglin. Robert McLaren Armstrong. Rupert Wilfred Bartlett. Gordon Valentine Boone. Harlan Winfield Borden. Robert Melbourne Brown. Frederick Charles Burchell. Albert de Brise Carter. Joseph Leonard Clark. Bert Frederick Cooper. Alexander Fraser Craig. Harold Carlton Davis. William Earl Davison. Mark Lorne DeLong. Eric Reginald Dennis. Charles Headley Edgecombe. St. Clair Preston Elderkin. Vernon Cleveland Elderkin. Philip Levi Finley. George Gear. John Lockhart Goodwin. Colin Crawford Gray. William Fraser Hale. John Manuel Hensley. Frank Major Hughes. David Jardine. James Coleman Jordan. John Wesley Judkins. Erskine Lindsay. John Earl Lockerbie. Terence Cochran Lockwood. Ronald Sutherland Matcham. George Tennyson Metherall. David Gordon Mott. Arthur John Mocher. Donald Rice Monroe. Kenneth King Mackenzie. Arthur Harold McKay. Ralph McKeel. Donald Evan McMillan. Hubert Patterson Osborne. Thomas Hubert Patterson. Harold Gordon Pearson. Edward Cole Peters. Ralph Uriel Fallon, Walter Willett Pickup, Thomas Henry Peary, Richard Westaway Poole, Ernest Merle Pringle, Harry Eustace Reinhardt, Nelson Richardson, Walter Truman Ruggles, Alexander McFarland Seaman, Cecil Parker Smith, Donald Cecil Smith, Ralph Dwight Snow, Louis Murray Southgate, Albert Edward Stevenson, John Clifton Sutherland, Harry Bowser Sweetnam, Harry Archibald Tatry, Ralph Ellsworth Tower, Donald Mark Trapnell, Roland Turner, Ernest Havelock Welsh, Norman Howard Wetmore, Alan Tristram White, Charles Albert Windsor, William Arthur Windsor. And in memory of nursing sister Rena M. McLean, student of the Ladies' College from 1891 to 1892. She enlisted in the 1st Canadian contingent. She was awarded the Mon Star and the Royal Red Cross.
In proud memory of the students of the university and of the academy who gave their lives in the Second World War of 1939 to 1945. Josiah James Anderson, Roland Clinton Bacon, Marshall Edwin Balcom, James William Bell, Henry Harrison Bennett, G. Stanley Bickerton, Stephen Stanley Bird, John Alexander Hood Black, John Donald Blaine, Frank Boyener, Huntley Donald Brander, Charles Irwin Burke, Robert Bustede, James Norman Cabeldew, Thomas Edison Campbell, Kenneth Claude Carr, Frederick Lorne Chalmers, James Homer Christie, Kenneth Charles Cahoon, Eric Leonard Culp, David Conter, John Allen Cameron Crimmins, James Warren Cullen, Richard Archibald Dunbar, Donald Norval Eddy, John William Fagan, Charles Cavour Fawcett, Ronald Thayer Fawcett, Arthur Allen Stiles Flemington, Hedley Charles Cornick Goodyear, Sandy Harold Kendall Goodyear, James Albert Hanaway, Arnold Freeman Hopman, Donald Lawrence Jack, Albert Morse Borden Johnson, William Kakafanas, Curtis Carroll, David Allison Killam, John Herbert Langley, Terry North Lawrence, Ivan Jerome Loring, Austin Vaughn Maxwell, Noel Lumbee Mayer, Donald Wallace Moffett, William Kenneth MacDonald, Kenneth James McIntosh, Roy Alderson McKay, Charles Gordon Mackenzie, Morris Doherty Mackenzie, James Louis Eugene McKinley, Bliss James McLaughlin, Gordon Mitchell McLean, Hector Robert McQuarrie, Raymond Charles McCoyd, Neil Russell McSween, Thomas Cale McWilliam, Alden Ernest Nickerson, Donald Blair Norton,
Ralph Connors O'Brien, Harvey Thomas Palfrey, Franklin Hayward Patterson, Charles Lawrence Putnam, Thomas Medley Richards, Sherman Lewis Roach, John David James Roger, Harold Melville Rogers, Donald Spragg Ross, James Finley Ross, John Murray Sadler, Donald Shafteichlin, William Alfred Seaman, Everett Mosier Sim, Lawson Mitchell Smith, Maxwell Lloyd Stephen, Donald Walter Stewart, James Robin Stick, Gerald Pope Tanton, Stanley Tavener, Adrian Ralph Taylor, Arnold Dudley Taylor, Lawrence Bruce Thistle, Richard Murray Trites, Alex Albert Gray Truman, John Henry Warman, Ralph Ernest Wells, Donald Coburn West, Forrest Walker Wiggins, Ralph Harland Whiteman, and John Sherwood Williamson. and from the Korean War, Lieutenant Arthur Graham Herman, a student of Mount Allison University who was killed in action in Korea on the 19th of August, 1952.
On this Remembrance Day, we will remember them. Let us also remember a common vision for peace, where all people have a place to belong. And then let us put our vision into action. Our vision to live as a treaty people respecting one another, to show compassion in spite of our differences, and to focus on our common humanity, to learn from and with each other, and to gain understanding. Let us build a world of peace here at Mount Allison University, here in Tantramar, and here on our planet.